If everything we did went according to plan, the world would be a boring place. Because even if you think you're doing things right, there's plenty of ways it can go wrong. Like this daredevil found out. Extreme sports are extreme for a reason. The risk and reward are equally as high. If you're ready for a jump, you better also be prepared for the landing. And saying his was rough may be the understatement of the century. If you needed a definition for what underestimating looks like, here it is. A disaster like that would hit any pescatarian right in the eels. When you get the discount version of Mr. Miyagi, he had the confidence, just not the execution, and the only thing breaking in half here was his self-esteem. Usually the worst fear for dads during a barbecue is burning the meat, but he made sure overheating wasn't an issue, just not in the way he'd have hoped. No matter how tired I was, I think I'd rather take the stairs than try to cement myself on this concrete escalator. Here's a reminder to drink water during your workout routine. If my gym got flooded like this, all I'm doing is making a beeline to the rowing machine. When a celebratory moment turns into an attack from a fizzed-up missile? Rest and recovery begins after you complete the race, except when the finish line adds a few more injuries. I guess it's not just defeats that leave a sour taste. When you've just won the lottery, but the first thing you need to spend the jackpot on is an eye appointment. Oh, maybe some therapy after that jump scare. Not everyone enjoys surprises, but it was him who wasn't ready for this. They say the worst thing that can happen is she says no. But what if she says neither? Bruh. Even at such a young age, his kids were primed for battle in the TV remote wars. Reliability, safety, and comfort. All three guarantees fall apart when the bus driver forgets he's not driving something suitable for narrow streets. Out of 12,000 dominoes, it only took one misplaced piece for the entire pyramid to tumble. Well, at least this isn't ancient Egypt. Not every problem has a solution. Sometimes the only option is to sit and question your entire existence. Who am I? To those builders, that was a whole day of work. But to that driver, it was just a game of knocking over dominoes. They say nobody's above the law. But tell that to this judge who overruled his traffic violation in minutes.
What do you think you're doing? Blowing my horn? You better check the registration on this plate soon, mister. Have a good day, Judge. You bet.
A one-man job can quickly become a multiple-man job, depending on how badly it's botched. Balloons. Cheerful, innocent, childlike things. Except when over 1 million of them hit the sky and blow everywhere. This world record attempt took a dark turn when it set up the worst conditions for a coastal rescue mission possible. And with 2 fishermen falling victim to the ocean's embrace, the record unsurprisingly didn't make it to the official book. Who'd have thought that in an NFL clash, the biggest tackle would involve the sound guy? He got too close to the action. Housekeeping. The clue is in the name. When she took things outside the home, though, she reversed into big trouble. And she may find the locks have changed when she clocks in for work tomorrow. When you think you need to revive in Call of Duty, but all you're doing is holding down the crouch button, normally people without legs can't get pants like that. Sleeping on the job nearly came at a hefty price. Luckily for him, this thief had butterfingers. They definitely extinguished any threat of fire with all that foam. However, they now had a different issue to remedy. How do you lose $7,000 of prize money in one move? Follow the motorbike instead of the track. This detour led her from sure victory to a bronze medal right at the race's climax. The pit stop team had one job, but the wheels took an unexpected spin. Guido wouldn't let that happen. Time jumps aren't just a thing in video games. Pressing the button at the right time can just be the same as your brain sending a message to your legs. And for her, there was a slight delay. Along with earthquakes, forest fires, and tornadoes, tsunamis are a thing that don't really need an artificial simulation for amusement. Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go. Turns out taking over castles is tougher than it looks. Her medieval melon catapult plan had a fruity twist. After taking that one to the face, she nearly got sent back to 500 AD. The weatherman forgot to predict these sticky summer conditions, cloudy with a chance of slushy. This world record attempt for the world's largest ice pop proved as a reminder, they're meant for the freezer, not the road. That's not what he had in mind when he tried to lower the suspension. No matter how good of a leader you are, you can't rule a country if you can't make it out of your driveway. When your client's car has got a will of its own, car repairs take double the length of time. Breaking news. The bank of rivers are slippery today, but sometimes actions speak louder than words. And he demonstrated this report perfectly. 2 journeys was out of the question, but gravity proved a sobering reminder that balance is best served one brew at a time. This guy's career as a fake U.S. Marshal hit a snag when real justice intervened.
Sir, what is your name?
Gary Lambert.
Turns out a siren and a fake badge wasn't enough to fool a real sheriff. Nothing screams authority like being the one ending up in
Can I put
cuffs.
your hands behind your back?
For what?
I'll explain it to you. So you're going to be arrested for impersonating a police officer, okay?
Let's just hope they got a few flares on board. Their engine just decided it was about time this boat went manual. The sketch artist is gonna have a tough time drawing the accused, and brownie points to any police officer who can keep a straight face when this crime is reported. Getting carjacked by a furry dog gang may be a new low. Little did he know that saying "open sesame" would have the same amount of impact as that door ram. Little did he know that the shop owner he was robbing learned a thing or two from Jigsaw. Every door just led to more doors in this trap, and he had nowhere to go. The do's and don'ts of what to do if your car's in a flooded sinkhole. Do seek the help of emergency services. Don't jump in after it. If you want to get away with cheating, doing it in a full room of people should be avoided. This hacker tried his luck anyway, but the admins made sure his cheat code turned into a ban code. There are workdays that can be a real headache, like when this rogue skateboard rolled onto the scene, making headlines of its own. Turns out the hoverboard wasn't waterproof, and her great idea of using the toy beside the pool backfired big time. Just a friendly reminder that electronics and pools have no business being so close to each other. They never mentioned this in the robber's rulebook. During a stick-up, the victims are supposed to scream and give you the money, not completely ignore you. He had no way of reacting to this turn of events, and his life of crime took an early retirement. Just like how you shouldn't trust the weight of responsibility on weak shoulders. Putting the weight of a truck full of dirt on thin ground isn't a good plan. This fraudster banked on the icy conditions to conceal his insurance trick, but he forgot one crucial thing. Wheels have much better traction than shoes. This reporter didn't know that when he called out the lack of snowplowers, they'd take it personally. On this day, he made his parents proud. Sort of. Having dinner on street level may seem cool at first, but not when a ghost rider decides to park a little too close for comfort. But haunting experiences like this can always be avoided by pulling your handbrake. Steadying yourself when you trip is a natural reaction, but it's probably better to faceplant than to lean on a $1.5 million painting for support. A man's wine collection is a prized possession to be protected and treasured, which is precisely why storing them like this isn't the best idea. When a decade's supply of alcohol crashed to the floor, he just saw red. Pull-up bars are great because you can set them up anywhere. Well, maybe not on a cliff edge, but if your backup plan is a parachute, then you'll still survive. And just for the record, he was fine and lived happily ever after. Doing difficult jobs like this can be a pain in the butt, but it's better than a window pane shattered on the floor. If you want to have time to plan an escape, better hope that this is the guy trying to break down your door. Maybe it was just a pull rather than a push to open. 21 pounds of cement blocks? Surely only a grandmaster could break through them.
I mean, there's no door.
Oh, and the news reporter who's never taken a karate class in his life. Something seems sus here. During a race through the desert, it didn't take long for things to turn prickly. Some people hit the ground running, and others just hit the ground. Or in his case, the water. Setting up your report beside the pitch sprinklers wasn't their wisest choice, but he was determined to get the news to the people. It's good to be adventurous, but when your friend says, "Try it, I think you'll like it," just remember this. As the camera panned down, he struggled to chow down the seafood snack before finding the nearest bin to spit into. This is what happens when crowd surfing goes wrong. The beat was meant to drop, not him. I'm struggling to find sympathy for someone who takes a laptop on a speedboat. Was streaming the football game really worth the risk? When you're too busy threatening civilians to notice you forgot to lock the back doors. As police escapes go, this one was pretty straightforward. Let's just go back to the good old days, when all you needed to stop a boat was an anchor and some enthusiasm. This is one of those times where I just couldn't see this ever going right. You might as well dye your car brown at this stage. The yellow's ruining the whole look. So this is the grown-up version of Hot Wheels? If missing the target from that close wasn't embarrassing enough, the ball really said, "Get your head in the game." When you're standing in the direct line of sight, is there any point in shouting for? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I guess he won? The punch machine just couldn't handle this final boss. Life can give us amazing moments of comedic timing. Is this reality or a Tom and Jerry cartoon? When you try to impress your mom with how many shopping bags you're carrying, but the world wants to keep you grounded. When it turns out your buddy decided to take the stairs instead of the elevator. Good luck explaining this one in the back of the police car. Maybe don't transport the biggest thing you have on the smallest vehicle. If you ever thought those biker dudes are intimidating, just remember some of them are this terrified of a little frog. The essentials of a good fishing trip: a sturdy rod, a strong net, and a pro using both to make a great catch. Yeah, there's plenty more fish in the sea. Or hobbies. This person's holiday went down a slippery slope. But seriously, who let Willy Wonka design a water park? When you forget to hold down the power button on your PlayStation controller? At least she tried. When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. But, unfortunately for him, it was still bitter. You know what? Next time I'm gonna pass on taking the window seat. If I don't see it, it's not happening. Man overboard! He thought docking was a phone app, but not a maritime skill. When your passenger princess turns out to be a passenger problem, there's much less expensive ways to give off some attitude. And here's another reason why CCTV's a gift to humanity. Partly for preventing crime, and also so we can laugh at people's mistakes. Well, that's one way to let someone get past you on the road. I think it's pretty clear what went wrong here. Just like when I try to pack my entire life into a suitcase for a flight. The physics aren't physics-ing. I think it's time to turn off the pump, guys. Gasoline prices are too high for this. When you've just sold your old fence panels and this happens, guess you'll be needing them back now. Is this the Karen of lawnmowers? It really just said, fun time's over. There will never be a supervillain worse than a seagull on your lunch break.
Kurva!
Have a guess at what's about to float by on this calm, sunny day. Is it A, more deck chairs, B, a family of otters, or C, a whole-ass car? I want the confidence of this guy running towards a falling tree as if he was gonna be able to stop it. Is this a terrible accident or just arriving in style? May need to improve her parking skills though. I'm sure it was fun explaining this one to the car insurance people. But there's something seriously fishy about this one. The aqua theft ring clearly goes deeper than the ocean. Sometimes you just gotta back down and make a beeline for the exit to escape. Me, when my friend tells me not to fizz up the drink cans, those aren't ready for drinking. They're ready to be deployed in war as missiles. If driving on a lawn wasn't bad enough, causing a hefty dent made sure his fate was sealed. Stuart Little's really stepped up his game. The sequel looks insane. Trend Central's lesson of the day. Never try to drive into Shrek's swamp. It's ogres only for a reason. Here's having a bad hair day. Then there's whatever's going on at this barber shop. What's worth more, a pizza box or a camera? I know which one I'm choosing. You know what he needs? A toolbox to fix all those. Oh yeah. Maybe this is the beginning of the end, when machines go rogue against mankind. How'd you like it now? It's times like these where maybe it's just better to have a key for the door, but hey, I'm sure they know what they're doing. Next time, check the weather forecast before setting up your food stall. Are we still applying the 5-second rule here? Sometimes the world gives you that extra push to hand in your letter of resignation. This was definitely the people's favorite miracle by Jesus. And here's why you should always listen to your first instincts to stop before something bad happens. He didn't stop. A lesson's been learned here. Drive careful and listen to Dad. Oh, and get some tighter glasses. You need your eyes on the road. I think this is the absolute definition of never let them know your next move. Talk about a lack of emergency. You gotta run and slide under that door before it shuts. A bad day at work for some people is a rainy Monday. For others, it's this. And in today's whiskey review, we're gonna focus on the durability of the packaging. Yeah, not great. He thought it was hammer time, but the machine had another idea. At some point, you just gotta choose the lesser of two evils. Talk about a bad day at work. That say quickly turned into a nada after this celebration. There's only one Cristiano Ronaldo for a reason. When you wage war against the elements always win. And here's why you shouldn't always listen to your intrusive thoughts. I don't know what's worse, tidying up or watching the video with your boss later. This valet driver got caught in a sticky situation. Hope his driving skills are better than his stealing. I've heard of getting a mud skincare facial at the spa, but this isn't it. And here's a prime example of why construction work takes so long. We could all do without the self-sabotage. Plan? Perfect. Execution needs some work. They definitely don't mean this when they say drive until the wheels come off. How many builders does it take to fix a panel in place? Clearly more than one. This is definitely a two-man job at least. The pure roller coaster of emotion they must have felt when their worst fear came true. Not even the biggest adrenaline junkies like having their world turned upside down. You ever wonder what's going on inside someone's head? Yeah, this is one of those times. When you try to look threatening, but a fine intervention brings you back down to earth. Nice try, buddy, but the guardian angel of the road was on the case. If you want your outfit to be fire, this is the place you should take your laundry. Straight out of the oven. Who would have guessed that this pizza was too hot to handle? While everyone's concerned about ChatGPT taking over, I think the real concern is sentient farm equipment. This would have been a great video if A, he was a good basketballer, and B, the drone pilot was watching where he was going. This kid wanted to make his graduation memorable and wore a neck brace in preparation. When you think you're built for a life of crime, but then chicken out when it becomes too real. When it's almost home time and one mistake means you'll be here all night. I think we found the machine that applies Joker's makeup. When you're invited on the sports broadcast team, but you're almost sure it's not because of your sports knowledge. When you're single, there's never a bad time to ask a pretty girl out on a date.
Wow, you're super pretty. You want to go on a date sometime?
We're on air live right now on KTLA, actually. Do you live in one of these houses?
These guys picked the middle of a tropical cyclone to move a pallet full of goods. They're just lucky they walked away with their heads. He didn't choose the mug life chose him, and shattered his first impressions in a new job. So don't feel bad when your life goes off script, just react to the setbacks. One way you can make sure you do the right thing now, though, is by hitting that like and subscribe button. See ya!